I have a question from someone. How would you respond, Yazhi? I am starting to believe that it is unwise for starseeds to incarnate on this planet. It would make sense if the world truly needed our help organically. However, being that those on top could end the game in a week if they wanted to, nothing we really do will ever make a real impact. We are destined to sink with the ship, no matter how hard we try to change the outcome. Depends if those starseeds are chickens or not. No one ever said it was going to be easy. Nothing worthy is ever easy. You can go against unbelievable odds and still win, whatever it is you want to win. It all depends on points of view, mostly personal. But the fat lady hasn't sang yet. Many will die, yes, people die anyway. But it's not whether you will die or not, but to die well, because you are going to die. Your choice to die as a lion or as a lamb. I personally want to kick some ass. Why? To bend reality into something else. But the purpose of the fight has to come from you, not from the results. Dor Kalel strongly feels that the fight is not only about good and evil or helping others, more of fighting for who each one of us is. We fight because that is who we are. We fight out of self-respect, to keep our souls, to walk with our heads up high. But the Federation is in charge. They won't let that happen, bending the reality into something we want. Yeah, in charge. But I've told you before, the real boss here are the people of Earth and what they want collectively. Yeah, what they want is manipulated by the Cabal, and in turn the Cabal is a reflection of the people. This sounds like nonsense, esoteric hogwash, yet it's the damn hard truth. As easy as people realizing that they need not follow those rules imposed on them by the so-called overlords of their realm. Overlords summoned and animated and manifested by them. They are in a vicious circle, with the Cabal manipulating them and them manifesting a Cabal. It's a dog running after its tail situation. Yes, so slap out of it. Yeah, but then they will reset the society. Reset or not, it cannot happen if the collective does not cooperate and manifest exactly that. Take it as a final exam. Either the human collective makes it, or they flunk it, and back to the freshman year. We are all going to die. Your choice if we dare do something about it or only sit and watch. You can either be a spectator or a main character. Many say we are being negative, but what we are basically is needing them to see the problem so they can know what to do next. But it must dawn on them to see that it's up to them and them alone, not expecting any kind of help. And that is what even the Federation wants them to do, to take control. What their higher selves want them to do. Their mission in life as a purpose for incarnation, to stop being in victim mode, because they are victims, but they must now do something about it. And they must see why they will not get any help, not in the way they expect to get it. Because that way they are expecting to get help is a matrix cabal regressive temptation to sit back and do nothing. They must do now whatever they feel is the correct way, even if it means battle. Or not, and only take care of their corner. That's all they need to do. Save themselves, because they will not be able to save anyone who is not meant to be saved, not even their very family. They fall into sorrow because they see their families ignore them. He who grows in knowledge increases in sorrow by equal manner. Ecclesiastes 1:18, Bible. It hurts to know more than your peers. So they must learn to let go. Learn to say goodbye to relatives, because it's not in their hands to stop this. They cannot. All they can be is an inspiration for those who follow. And contradicting this, fighting this last battle is all what's left. This is what you will carry for incarnations to come, that you all were there and you fought evil. It's not a question to die or not. We will all die. The thing here is to die well. What do you want people to turn this reality into? Something more, just from the point of view of people. Somewhere where the Federation treats them as members, not as some kind of sick experiment. People there believe in everything there except the one thing that is not a lie. They chase everything except what is worthwhile, themselves. They are always depending on others, mostly to know what and how to think. That's the problem. They do not think, most of them at least. Realizing as a collective that all they must do is step out of fear and start believing in themselves, not in what CNN tells them. Including us. They depend on us too, and you, to tell them things. That's right. They wouldn't have to believe in us nor hear us, only themselves. But remember that in this case, it must be a collective. Personal ones help, and it is from where each person must work on himself and on herself. But it is achieved as a collective, modifying the collective unconscious. Right now, there is a fracture in the timelines that translated into people thinking and living in completely different mental realities, even if they share the same table. But those timelines, all fractured or not, mostly go in two directions. Those who believe in the official narrative and in the system, and those who do not and think their own way. But what good is working on yourself if they still receive false information fed as truths? You do not need information as things classified as in good or bad, true or false. All you need is to observe in peace, not taking part in what you cannot do anything about, and only take part in things that you know you want. All you need is to hold your own with what you have personally come to believe, always intaking new whatever information, if information you want. You don't need raw information. All you need is to believe in yourself and in your good judgment, not looking for any external validation. How many of us do we need to be able to bend this reality? As I once said, you don't need to be a numerical majority. It's not a democracy. one starseed can wage havoc against the system. It depends on its will and ingenuity. There are more than enough starseeds and people to turn things around. The problem is that they are all dispersed and not focused, so they are only creating personal reality systems and do not condense with others into making another collective unconscious. So you advise them to condense, to get together, to create something nice, letting aside their petty differences and concentrating on what they all concur, removing the problem that affects Earth now. Like communities? Yes, for example, real physical communities and also online communities, work communities and work groups, as I said, leaving aside petty differences. Your spirits are down because you no longer know who to believe in. That's right. The only one you can believe in all the way is in yourselves. So slap out of that I can't mentality, feeling incapable of anything, and think about what you all can do as individuals and as a collective. I can't tell you all what to do because I am not you. I don't know your interests and what you can do today. But you do know what you can do. Do it! However small that thing may not be that small. You don't know how big or small that which you can do may result. I cannot give you hope. The hope can only come from yourselves. I cannot know what gives hope to each one of you all. You do know. But I know that Earth has never been an easy place. Won't be now either. Do not expect any power to come save you all. You don't even need it. All you need is to watch your little corner and live day by day, being as happy as possible with whatever you have, even if it ain't much. All you need is your lives. Apart from that, you need to get together. As I said, form communities for work and for helping each other. You need to get together. That's one of the main roads to take. Look for like-minded people. Associate with them. And then, you should start looking for other solutions regarding political and social interactions and governing systems or mechanisms, because democracy does not work. You need holographic, and it works well even in small communities made of few people, as few as 2 people, as in a couple. There is where it starts. But that's thinking ahead. In the meanwhile, associate with like-minded people and organize to do whatever. A good example of people doing this are those organizations like Médicos por la Verdad, Doctors for the Truth. I'm not aware of the equivalent name for English. That's a good example of what you all can do. Help each other from within each community. That you can do. Help each other inside, as in when a member falls into disgrace and loses their job, take him, her in as a group until they can fend on their own again. That person can help the community in other ways while it gets sorted out. That is the attitude that makes communities and groups of people survive the worst environments, the base of a holographic society. Remember, there is no real procedure to establish a holographic society, as it must always be tailored to the needs of each place that is to use it. The base is the attitude of the people, the mindset. You must now understand that the key to what you are looking for is in yourselves. Seriously so. Help is needed, but because of all what we have explained, I don't see it happening as you are told by New Agers or media. So the sooner you understand that you must take responsibility over your lives, the better off you will be. Even if it is about simple choices, but you do have them. Considering consequences, the ones holding power over you, perceivable so, be it your parents, teachers, or governments, will only want and try to persuade you to obey. And if you feel in a box, or in a between a rock and a hard place, you also were responsible for baby stepping yourselves into that position with your past choices. So, as I have always said, the key is to understand that you must take over your life. Be responsible for the choices you make, however silly or simple they may be. Even if you have the choice of sleeping on the floor or on your bunk in a prison cell, you have some choice. So it's a case of having free will from one point of view and not from another, holding both to understand the bigger picture. What if someone asks, but those random free will choices will not influence anything in the larger scale for humanity anyway, as it is governed by above? That's right, from your limited point of view. Even I, from here, cannot influence the Federation as I would want to. I have government here as well. Yours there is based on this larger one here. That's why it's similar. So we must all do what we can. And using an awesome Spider-Man quote from his uncle, with great power comes great responsibility. Taking that responsibility from a point and from an angle of strength and conviction, of self-confidence, and not in a state of fear, leaving behind religious manipulations of both divine and political and legal punishments of human manufacture that they use as an excuse not to form a complete reality in their own minds, which then they can use as a foundation to forge a new identity of their own that will be reflected outside in the collective. Learn everything there is to learn. Study and study without stopping to form your own system of values and beliefs. You will not go wrong. I know that this is the fear of many of you, because from the position of interest that you who listen to me are having, of the courage to make your own decisions, you are already ethically and morally above your own religious political leaders and doctors. Then, from that position of value and of believing in yourselves, with the intention of having and manifesting a better world for everyone, you will have the assurance that what you do will be of a higher moral value than what they want to impose. As long as you always take into account the needs and rights of others, from a position of looking for the common points among each other and not the differences. Thinking in a mode of service to others does not work on earth as it is at this time, since those who are at the service of others, as they are called in the New Age, will only make themselves slaves of opportunists who call themselves spiritual guides. Or at least you will end up over-giving to everyone around you without a balance of having your own needs met. It is not as simple as simply living at the surface of others, but maintaining a balance between your own needs and starting from that as a base. Already with those individual needs sufficiently provided for, from there to help others. This always keeping in mind that the self-help process as a basis should not be formed by abusing others or allowing others to abuse you. So, know thyself. And as I said, with great power comes great responsibility. And if you hold some power, then you must use it. If we hold some power, whatever it is, then we must use it as wisely as we can. And there is a lot that can be done. I can say that I am just a simple 10-year-old girl that lost her mom 2 years ago. And look at the fuss I've made so far. But I am E.T., so what? You are all powerful beings. It is only your ideas and your mind what is limiting you all. As I always say, and will always say, the only thing that limits you is your idea that you are limited. So, you are your own limit. Your decision how large and powerful you want and will be. Even under a collective unconscious, you are the one who accepts it, buys into it, and adopts it. Because you can understand it, all what surrounds you, your people, your environment, and your own mind. You are always the one who controls it. You are a stellar being. You are Source, not even a fragment of Source. I mean Source itself. All others are just you in other clothes. And all the schisms in your world are product of your own fears. Scary things will always be there. But you become fearless as soon as you choose not to fall into them and keep on living and keep on being happy and enjoying every single moment of your life. If you want to be someone unique and truly powerful, then you must learn to think for yourself and dare not follow the crowd. Then you will be limitless. Feeling small and vulnerable is the illusion. Your mind and soul is what makes you great. Independent thought is true power. You are already alive, so be fearless and go out there and make a dent in the universe. Choose with who you associate with. Choose the fearless and the independent thinkers. Be wise to yourself, and overall, trust that what you see as wise is the correct way to go for yourself, not caring what others think. Be true to yourself before anything else. Be loving, be gentle, be fearless, and go on.